Hello, my name is Christian Joseph Lopez. I just kind of felt like I needed to give my thoughts on the state of Star Wars, really. What's interesting is, to me, Star Wars is it's kind of popular to hate Star Wars right now, and I'd say there's a good reason. I mean, I don't hate Star Wars, but I don't like the direction it's gone since The Last Jedi. The thing about The Force Awakens is, yeah, a lot of people said it copied A New Hope, but it was universally loved. People didn't really complain about it. Well, they complained about it, but people didn't. They had their problems with the movie, but they didn't hate it. It was a welcome return to the franchise. Um, and then we got to Rogue One, and that one is also mostly really liked. Very few people didn't like it, like Riddler Media, Chris Stuckman. Um, Hello Greedo kind of gave a negative review about it, but generally people really liked Rogue One. And people were on board 100% with Disney Star Wars. Um, and it's interesting because when The Last Jedi came out, it totally destroyed that want for more Star Wars. Now, if you go to like maybe my other channel, when I first saw Last Jedi, I liked it. I actually really liked it, but as I watch it more and more, I kind of see the problems it has the most. Um, my biggest complaint at the time was, killing Snoke was a little lazy. I would like to just like more backstory on him. But that was kind of my only complaint. But after watching it, I realized, yeah, there is a lot of problems with the movie. First of all, the movie's not very fun. It paints Luke Skywalker in a negative light. It A lot of the male characters are incompetent. The female and characters are also tried to portray more competent, but don't really make sense in their judgments. Like, why didn't they tell Poe this and that? I don't know. The whole movie was just kind of a mess, and it wasn't really fun. It was kind of a okay. So Empire, yeah, it kind of ends. It it is more darker of a movie than A New Hope or even Jedi, but I wouldn't say it's a downer movie. I mean, it's still very an optimistic movie, especially the ending. Even though Luke got his hand cut off, when you watch Lando leave a Chewie and Luke look out into the field of space with his sister, it felt hopeful. Um, Last Jedi doesn't really have that sense. Even the end, it just doesn't feel hopeful. The movie is like a total downer. It's almost like a depressing Vietnam movie. Um, None of the characters are likable. The thing about Force Awakens is I think the movie really set up the good characters. And these characters could have gone a different way. But Ryan Johnson just kind of made him unlikable for the sake of trying to be different. And then we get to Solo, which I like Solo. I think it is a fun little side movie. It's kind of like a fun little drive-in movie. But one, it's not good enough. It's a good, okay movie, but it's not a great movie. It's not really good enough to save the franchise from The Last Jedi. And also, I think it came out way too soon to The Last Jedi. Everybody kind of has a bad taste in their mouth. Because of the bad taste in their mouth, a lot of fans are boycotted Solo, and that's why the movie bombed completely. And I don't think the movie deserved to bomb. If you're going to boycott a movie, boycott Episode 9. Um, and I don't think really Episode 9 can save the franchise, just because if it does, my hat's off to JJ. But it's just it's just, it went in a really weird, it ended in a really weird direction where you don't really see where they can go from where Last Jedi ended. That could be interesting even, because one, all our favorite characters are dead, so there's really no reason. I mean, maybe the footage of Carrie Fisher. I guess it could be interesting to see Luke as a Force ghost, but again, this isn't the Luke Skywalker I really like. If it was a more positive Luke Skywalker, I think it would be cool to see him as a Force ghost. Um, but really, there's the only thing to see the movie for is maybe we'll fix The Last Jedi's problems, which I don't think it will. Now, there is one movie, and I hope Disney can hear me right now, that can save the franchise. And it's pretty much what fans have been wanting. Most Star Wars fans want this. And I think it could totally save the franchise. It could totally help, and that is help put Star Wars back together, and that is an Obi Wan movie. I think an Obi Wan movie would be perfect. You could really go in an interesting direction with it. I feel like kind of an Eastwood style movie, Eastwood style Western with Obi-Wan in the Star Wars Tatooine universe, I think would be perfect. And here's the thing, I don't necessarily think this movie should leave Tatooine. It might be the first Star Wars movie, I think, that could really benefit for not really going in space. Just telling kind of a story that of Obi-Wan. Ewan McGregor's the perfect age. And this could really save the franchise. One, it will show that Disney will start listening to the fans. Because since Last Jedi, Disney's like, to heck with the fans. And that's really bad business marketing. They're pretty much calling all the fans misogynist. They're anti-women, anti this and that, and they don't like change, and they're threatened by women. I mean, like, women is not the issue of Star Wars. It's just you need good writing. You don't need nihilistic writing, the nihilistic viewpoints of Rian Johnson in Star Wars. And when you need to get a good director, I think the sequel trilogy is down the toilet right now. You really need the spin-off movies are really what can save this franchise. And I think Obi-Wan would be a good start. There's talks of a Boba Fett movie. Again, the problem with Solo is no one was really wanting a Han Solo movie. No one says, I want a young Han Solo movie. And granted, what we got I thought was not bad. Yeah, there's like all this nonsense about Lando and his robot and his feelings towards Han. You don't really need that in a Star Wars movie. That's no one really asked for that, and I don't know. It's just, again, Disney's just doing stuff that the fans don't want. And if they really go with their gut, they would go in the direction of an Obi-Wan movie. An Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. It's, okay, so how would I... Okay, so the type of director I would want is a few people. And I know that Lucas said this will be handed to a new generation of filmmakers. But that kind of backfired. That kind of went down the toilet when they got Ron Howard on board to direct Solo. So I think they can pick whatever director they want. And honestly, I don't know if he would do it because it's not really his type of movie. But I would really like to see Clint Eastwood direct this. Now hear me out. Clint Eastwood would be the perfect director for a Solo movie. Because Eastwood knows how to do a gritty movie, but not a downer movie. Like Gran Torino, that's a gritty movie, but I wouldn't call that movie a downer. I would actually say it's very positive and hopeful. Um, and I think this movie needs to be gritty. I don't think it needs to be R-rated exactly, but kind of grounded in fun, but also has kind of a realism to it because it's gonna. I think it would do good if it feels very much like a western. I think that's the direction they should have went with Solo. Although I did like the heist concept of the movie, I think it would have been better if they went into more towards a western. I think Star Wars needs a western, and I think Obi Wan, a Kenobi movie, would work as a western style. And heck, samurai films, which is what Star Wars is inspired from, Kurosawa's samurai films, those films took heavily from westerns. Like not necessarily western stories, but the western style of filmmaking. Um, and I think that would be good for Star Wars. Um, so I would like Clint Eastwood. Who else would I like to see direct this movie? I think Clint Eastwood is the best option. Another one would be the guy, I can't remember his name, but the guy who directed Logan, I think would be a really good pick. Between Eastwood and Logan. Okay, so Clint Eastwood's almost 90 years old. Okay? I don't think he would really do a franchise movie, but I would definitely try to get him to direct the movie. He really has an eye for Western type movies. Um, Maybe the guy who directed Hell or High Water would be good. You need to get someone who makes films like that. Um, or maybe the Coen, I don't know, not the Coen, but they don't really do West. Well, No Country for Old Men was kind of a Western. But, someone along that caliber, I think would be perfect for Kenobi, and it would be exactly what the fans want. You could have great characters and actors come off of Ewan's performance, and I don't know. It feels like the right direction. I think the setting would be cool to see in Star Wars. Now, there's been rumors of them doing this on Disney's not live stream, video stream. To save the franchise, I don't think they should go that route yet. This should be a theatrical film. Another director, actually, I think would be good for this, but he only makes R-rated movies, and I don't really like the idea of an R-rated Star Wars movie. But I think if he would be willing to make a PG-13 movie, I think another great director would be Quentin Tarantino to direct an Obi Wan movie, because he will have his movies also are actually fun and grounded in a gritty world, and I think this is what Star Wars needs. It needs to be fun, but grounded in something gritty, maybe realistic. So my three directors are Clint Eastwood, Quentin Tarantino, or the guy who directed them again. And of course, you gotta get again. Ewan has to come back. Ewan would be perfect to play Obi-Wan now. Ewan was the best part of the prequel trilogy. He gave the best performance of the prequel trilogy. Because he knew how to interpret that character. The thing about George Lucas is he's not the best director with actors. And if you have someone who's a great director working with Ewan, it could really go in someplace special and awesome. So Disney, if you're listening, make an Obi-Wan movie. It's the only way to save the franchise. Don't go through with Rian Johnson's trilogy. Although, here's the thing. I think if Rian Johnson had his own trilogy, that's another topic. But don't go through with that trilogy. Go through with this. Maybe an Obi-Wan trilogy would be pretty good also. If anybody's listening, comment below. Let me hear your ideas. This is, I think, what needs to happen for the company to save, for Disney to save Star Wars. Other than that, it's just going to go down the toilet. Star Wars will be dead because it'll be injected with feminist propaganda, the nihilistic viewpoints of Rian Johnson. It won't be fun. It'll be kind of eye-rolling. So yeah,